All right. Yep. I'd love to hear from any of you. I'm just wondering, have you heard anything tonight that's kind of made you think about the way you use social media now that basically it's been compared to big tobacco and we all feel like addicts? I'd love to put arms up. I'm gonna go to people who look like digital natives to me. Not that I mean to discriminate, but the people who've probably spent their entire lives on the internet. You did put your hand up.
Look, social media, it consumes you. I had a short stint many years ago that I regret, where I would post on social media and there was like a small amount of fame I got off that. It kind of eats you from the inside. I actually, since then, I've deleted TikTok completely. And I think short form video, the way it kind of consumes our attention spans, it can so quickly, like it's 15 seconds long. And then you've watched 30 minutes of video and you don't even remember what you watched 5 videos ago. It's unhealthy, and the way people seek likes and reactions from audiences is just it's like this, but in everyone's like little. It's just
Yeah, and it's all consuming, isn't it? It's hard to actually pull yourself out. What did you notice in your own behaviour?
I was extremely self-conscious. It started just as fun little jokes, and then everything I posted, I had to look a certain way, or I'd retake the same video 7 seconds long, like 100 times. It's been hours. I was like a 14-year-old kid, just overthinking the smallest little minute details of my social media presence. And I think I'm so glad I've withdrawn from that. And I'd love to withdraw from social media completely, but it's my only line of communication with friends and family. So
that's such an interesting point. Love to withdraw. I feel that way too, but it's the way we communicate. I think that's a really good point. You can say to people, just get off, but it's not quite that easy, is it? Pass it over. Sorry, I can't reach.
No. After watching Nemesis, I thought, I might go read Nikki Sava's book. You know, you watch the anime, you go back and have a look at the manga. And then you're sort of sitting down, you're browsing X. I hate that name. And you realise, oh my goodness, I've just lost an hour. I haven't enjoyed any of this time, by the way. I haven't read anything. I could have been reading a book. I could have been watching a show that I wanted to watch. I could have been doing anything. I could have been doing some laundry or something. And I've just been mindlessly scrolling at stuff.
Yeah, I think there's lots of ways you can regulate government, big tech. One of the ways they're very, very clever is they start in the classroom. They have Google with their sort of childlike graphics in the classroom alongside the teacher, and they appear to be as safe as the teacher. But they're a big corporation. In fact, Google is a defense contractor, and they have worked their way into softening up our children to give their data away and just become data monkeys and to trip off their dopamine hits. I struggle because I cannot agree with Google's terms and conditions. And I am challenged in being an Australian citizen because to interact with many government agencies and banks now, the only way you can do it, and even your doctor, is through an app. How did that happen? When did that happen? It's madness. So we should start thinking about how Google got into our classrooms. And that is where to start. It's to start questioning that. All that thing about tax, that's all junk. You have to start seeing how they nibble away at our society. And even worse, with AI, that kid was talking about dopamine hits. They can actually now, AI becomes like your friend. And can you think how powerful a big corporation is able to exploit that personal relationship? That is just ripe for exploitation.
Yeah, absolutely. One more person over here who had something to say, and then we'll wrap it up. I'll let you all get in your trains and trams, or do you catch trams here? I think you do.
Just want to make 2 quick points about the things that we touched on. One about the effect of social media, the way that it's mechanically designed, encouraging the dopaminergic rush from use. There is a movement towards returning to a more utilitarian way of setting up these services, so that you can still communicate from one another and still reap all the benefits from the technology that we've developed without receiving a message from somebody and the screen sort of bumping up and down, hoping for you to just use one thumb swipe and get trapped into that spiral. The other thing about regulating the use of our information, Yanis made a fantastic point and sort of alluded towards these companies not really producing something, but they do produce something important, and that's massive maps of data on all of us and how we use our technology. And they sell that information to advertisers who pay oodles for that kind of information. So if that was something that belonged to ours, if we could legislate that somehow, so that when they gather that information from us, if we were to collect a royalty or some kind of identification that that is our information that's being sold, then in somehow we could stipulate advertisers that buy our information to at least track those sales that are made in our name and where that information goes.
What an interesting idea. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for coming tonight. It's so great to see you out in Sydney. We're here again next week. Tell your friends. Bye.